Now, after gather round, we're back to another round of a bye, and we won't get to see some teams play. But let's get straight into this round's tips. First, we're Melbourne and Brisbane. Brisbane looked alright in their last match up against North. They obliterated them. Charlie Cameron, Joe Danaher, and Eric Hipwood were very good, but Lockie Neal did get injured, which could derail their season. Melbourne were incredible. They beat Adelaide. They thumped them. They were inaccurate and should have won by more. So I am going to tip Melbourne in this game. But shout out to Brisbane. They'll lose by 30 points, but at least you beat North, which isn't the biggest thing of praise, but I don't think that their season could be over like Collingwood's. Next game, Bulldogs Essendon. Bulldogs had a decent game. They just fell short to Geelong by 4 points, but they played well. Bont was incredible. Jack McRae as a sub is kind of crazy from Bevo. And they had a good game. Sam Darcy, I was really impressed with him in his third game. So they were good, and Essendon, as an Essendon fan, I was super annoyed. Where'd the edge go? Where'd the Essendon edge go? They looked lackluster. Port in the midfield were much quicker, so I was sitting there, why don't you put the midfielders behind the ball? Just why? Are you just going to let them outscore you? And they lose by 69 points. Good job, Essendon. Next game, GWS St Kilda. The Giants, they were good. They beat the Suns, but it was a tight game up until halfway through the last. St Kilda just got over the line for Richmond. St Kilda look really lackluster, but their captain hasn't. Jack Steele's look really good this year. And the Giants just should get through. They're the better side. They should go to be 5-0. And I'm tipping them to. Carlton Adelaide. Carlton just got over the line against Freo. Freo were in the driving seat, and I'm surprised they didn't win. And Adelaide, they've been terrible. So I think we just go with the obvious tip here. Carlton, we'll tip them, back them in. Next game, Port Freo. Port demolished Essendon. Jason Horne-Francis in that second half was incredible. Connor Rozee, he tore us up. The reason the game ended the way it did, well, a part of the reason, in the second quarter, I think they're up 11-12. And they kicked the last 3 goals in the first half in the last 80 seconds. That puts away the game. And then they're up by 30-something going into the half. If they don't, Essendon are still within 3 goals and having a sniff. But they gave up there. So Port, really good. And then we have Freo, who were really good against Carlton. Just fell short, but Nat Fyfe looked back to his best. Hayden Young looked good. Caleb Sarong looked a bit average, but Luke Jackson in the middle. I hope that they don't get rid of him out of the ruck completely like they did last year, and they give him a shot, because he's a talent. He is a talent. I'm going to tip Port to win this one though, because it's at their home ground. The next game, Gold Coast Hawthorn. Gold Coast were really good. Hawthorn were really good against Collingwood. I don't know where to go with this tip, but I'm going to tip Gold Coast just because it seems like they're the better side. And I'll tip Gold Coast in that one. Geelong, North Melbourne. I don't really want to talk about North again. Why do North suck so bad? They go from a 50-point beating from Carlton one week to the next week getting beaten by Brisbane by 80. It's just sad. I don't like to watch it. It's not fun. Geelong was good. They got over the line against the Bulldogs, so I'm going to tip them. And after us writing them off, they're 5-0 if they win this game this week, which they should. West Coast Richmond. Richmond put up a really good fight with Tom Lynch and some of their main players out. Their key centre back in Josh Gibcus and a few others. So I'm going to tip Richmond pretty comfortably, but I wouldn't be surprised if somehow West Coast was to pull off an upset at home, but I am going to tip Richmond. If you guys play Supercoach, then here's a video about that. Righty.